Tonight, we are joined by Ambassador Ali Imran, a seasoned diplomat, and let's see what's his take on all these scenarios. Thank you so much, Ambassador Imran, for joining us. Iran's foreign minister says they came inches from an Islamabad MOU. America says Iran was living in its own fantasy about its own bargaining position. So both sides basically left the same room with opposite readings. Are we looking at a coercive diplomacy when two parties have fundamentally different assessments of who holds the leverage?
No, I think it was a timing problem. What happened was that till the last hour and a half, they seem to be coalescing towards a joint communique or something of that sort in a very good atmosphere. But then some people say a call came, or I don't know about that, but then suddenly the US assumed a maximalist position as far as nuclear enrichment was concerned, and it said nothing less than zero enrichment and zero capacity to enrich, despite Iran being a member of the NPT. And so suddenly Iran was caught unawares. There are various theories that Kushner called Netanyahu or somebody and changed his stance. That I don't know. But the US assumed a maximalist position, and it wanted guarantees that Iran would never, ever in its lifetime become nuclear. By nuclear, I mean would enrich uranium, no enriched uranium. This was a departure from the 3% or so they had almost agreed in Oman. So that became the one of the reasons for the breakup of this round.
Right. If you compare the two negotiations, the one with Oman previously and the one that we are calling Islamabad talks, the Omani foreign minister clearly said about those that we were inches away from a clear mandate and we were agreeing on a lot, and Iran was ready to give up on the enriched uranium clause. Despite that, it didn't succeed and we witnessed a war. Same has happened this time. Do you think this is something that has something to do with Washington changing goalposts time and again due to Netanyahu or Israeli lobby?
No, in Muscat, when they were in Oman, it was a clear case of deception. They were preparing for an air attack, gathering intelligence. Netanyahu had been to Washington, sometimes publicly, sometimes secretly. So that was just plain deception, which is the reason for Oman's ire. And their foreign minister, a thorough gentleman who I know personally, was so offended that he wrote in the Economist, and he was actually in Washington or was about to leave when the war started.
Yeah.
So that was deception. This time, I think they were near an agreement, and suddenly maybe there are various plausible, implausible theories. Some people say J.D. Vance should not have been. I mean, Trump did not want him to get the limelight, and some people say that Netanyahu intervened. Other people say that they wanted total capitulation of Iran, which should be seen also.
Yeah.
So this time it's different. This time the talks were taking place in the middle of a war, in the middle of a decapacitating economy of the world, oil shortages, gas shortages, mineral shortages, fertilizer shortages. So this was different. That was prior to a war. That was to avert a war. This was to stop a war.
Right. We were talking that both sides were so convinced that they hold the cards of victory. So what historically forces one of them to update that belief? Does it always require a military event, or can this economic pressure alone can shift the map of reality for both?
I think Iran was okay with what was happening till, as the foreign minister says, till the end came, and suddenly they saw the goalpost being shifted. The US was also okay till I think instructions came from Washington due to whatever reasons that they should further make their own stance maximalist. So something happened.
which we were no, I think, I believe. Trump,
I think even most Americans that I know, they seem to believe that Israel intervened.
yeah, everybody
But
believes that.
they're,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So maybe they're right. Maybe Trump wanted the final glory to be his, and maybe he wanted better terms, and he had the Hormuz blockade in his mind. So, uh, so it can be any of these things.
Ambassador, could it all be a theatrical kind of a display of that, yes, we want to stop it, but look, Iran is not agreeing to it, that kind of display for the domestic audience? Could it be that?
Yes, it could very well be that, but then I would have thought that it would be followed by increased horrific attacks,
Yeah.
air attacks on Iran. Those they haven't happened till now, but we still have a few days to go before the ceasefire ends. But in the meanwhile, I think Trump has been fed by somebody that you don't even need to do anything. You just stop Iran's ships from getting out for exports. And it will kill two birds with one stone. China won't get its oil, and Iran won't be able to export. And the bill runs into $180 million a day. But again, I think he has miscalculated. I think again this is more theatrics. This is not a serious statesman who wants to resolve the issue. He wants Iran to come begging for relief because he feels that he will economically strangulate Iran. He doesn't realize that they already have, as we say in Urdu, uh, a coffin on their heads. Look at their faces. Their faces were very serious, and the airline pictures of the little children who embrace Shahadat. So there the mindset won't be swayed by a few $1 million.
Right.
They will find ways to send oil through a land route, maybe even through Pakistan. And they would feel that China would now jump into the fray. The Americans think that China would force Iran to accept zero ability for nuclear enrichment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, continuing on what we were already talking, that Trump announced the blockade within a day of Islamabad talks. Was Pakistan blindsided? And Iran called it moving the goalpost. We also said the same, that they have been doing it. Is that a tactic that has ever worked in the history of a coercive diplomacy? Or does publicly escalating during an active negotiation almost always kill the negotiation again and again would work?
Actually, this moving the goalpost, a commonly accepted goalpost, is always bad for peace. So I don't think what the plan is. Maybe tomorrow on Truth Social, he'll say that we have won. I've decided. I'm talking to very good Iranians. They want a peace deal. I've decided that I'm going to have a peace deal. I'm going to go to Geneva and meet them. And there in Geneva, I will conclude the US victory and a band like that. I don't think he wants confrontation with China. And I think China, what will China do? I think Iran would give the uranium it has enriched, but it would never give up its right to enrichment. That is a no-no for Iran.
Right. The sticking points, one of the sticking points, I would say. On the
Yes.
surface, the ones that seemed like very clear that were enrichment facilities, as you are saying, the straight reparations, but the Iranian foreign minister specifically said that they were inches away from a deal. And coming from Iranians, this is a big deal because they are very tough negotiators. So,
Yes.
which was, in your opinion, the final line that neither side would cross? Was it the nuclear question? Was it the reparations? Was it Lebanon? The one dimension neither side could control because Israel is not bound. It says it is not bound by any ceasefire America and Iran are negotiating.
That's true. There are many people who believe it was Lebanon. There are others who believe that the pace agreed of returning Iranian money and confiscated Iranian money was very slow. It was to be phased out, and Iran wanted an immediate payment to see the sincerity of the American side, who they don't trust. So it could be that, but the proclaimed the proclaimed sticking point was the nuclear sticking point. I think the Iranian foreign minister is trying to hint that they were inches close to a deal, and then something happened.
Yeah.
And the whole world, American journalists, you would know many who are in Islamabad still thinking that maybe a new round could take place here. Uh, all of them, those I've seen or met, they have a consensus that it was Israel and it was Kushner, and they
Witkoff.
don't say much about Witkoff, but both Kushner and Witkoff have pages to Netanyahu. So they feel that Israel scuttled the deal because Israel wanted to talk with Lebanon from a position of strength, and but those talks are sort of meaningless. What talks can take place if only the two ambassadors are talking? I
And
mean, ambassadors in Washington D.C. My God, those are no talks at all.
the very fact that J.D. Vance became the face of the Islamabad talks was one point that people were very optimistic that something good, at least something good, let it be even 5% or 2%, is going to come out of it. Yet, it seems as if Steve Witkoff and Kushner prevailed. Is this a right reading?
Yes, it's the right reading. Problem with J.D. Vance is that he is anti-war, he is not a Zionist, but he can't seem to be seen too much on the other side. Therefore, he refused to put his foot down and take a stance, because then he would have been labeled too much pro-Iran, too much pro-peace, too much anti-war.
Or got
He
a
wanted
bad
to,
deal for America?
yes. Yes.
Do you see another round of talks in sight?
Yes, I do. I do. I think they're also talking as we speak, at a junior level, and in the shadows. I think maybe even the leadership is talking. I think they haven't stopped talking, but I don't know whether formal round would be held and where would it be held. But I'm pretty sure that something is going to happen. Diplomacy is going to get another chance.
Ambassador Ali Imran, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure
Thanks
having
for
you.
having me.